Happy New Year, everybody. It is New Year's Eve, and I want to say thanks for joining me today. I really wanted to kind of go over what's happened in 2023 and what's coming up in 2024. But before I jump into that, if you have any comments at all, leave them in the chat because at the end of this video, then I will do my best to respond to any questions or comments that anybody has. So, first of all, what I really want to do is go back and look at what happened in 2023, some of the new or upgrades to satellite communicators that came out. And the first one I really wanted to talk about here was the Garmin Messenger. So that came out actually at the end of 2022, and I'm bringing it up here because it really hit the market and people started seeing a lot of it, and I started doing a lot of testing in 2023. And this little device is really a true communicator, and you really can't do any tracking, or you can do tracking actually, but you can't use topo maps and navigate. You can track back, you can SOS. So anyway, that came out, and I was wondering when it first came out. I was like, why? What's the use for this device? But it really is for people that want a message and SOS, and already have the ability to navigate. So that was a new device. But again, it came out in 22. So the 67i, it came out this year in 23, and it is probably, in my opinion, okay, so everything here is my opinion from research and testing that I've done, is it's the number one standalone device. In my opinion, it'll do everything from, as you can see here, it will do everything from messaging, SOS, weather forecasting, navigation. You can create courses. It's just an incredible device, and there's a lot to it. So if you struggle with, you know, high tech, you don't want a lot of tech, you want a minimalist device, then I would probably steer you away from this one. But it is a great satellite communicator and one of my favorites actually. Then the Motorola Defy satellite link came out, I believe, around the summer, maybe early. And it's a great device as far as to me an entry level device. But it's small. It it actually I've used it quite a few times here, but it uses a different set of satellites, and they're higher orbit satellites. But as you can see in this photo right here, the person that is holding it is it's small. It's about the size of your phone, if not smaller. And so that one is really, I think we're really waiting to see what's going to happen with Motorola. And I'll touch on this a little bit later, some other things that they may be coming out with. But anyway, that came out in 2023. And then you have the Alpha 300 series, 300i, you can message on it and you can track up to 20 dogs. And I have the 200i, I haven't got the 300i yet. But again, you can do everything from SOS if you have the I version, and then you can track your dogs and message and navigate. So that's a great device. Just wanted to make sure you're aware of that. It's great for hunting or sporting dogs. So I just want to let you know real quick before we go any farther that Chris, the hiking guy, him and I had a video this week. We talked about all of the different satellite communicators and we ranked them. I wouldn't say ranked them, but we put them in categories as to what's better for if you are a backpacking, or maybe you're day hiking. But then we went into looked at is it what's good for off-roading, ATVs? What's some of the new stuff that's come out? What's some of the bargain devices? And again, the Motorola Defy is one of those. That's one of the least expensive. So we went and talked about that. He's actually editing that video, and it'll go up, I'm guessing tomorrow, maybe. So when that goes up, I'll have that information in the link below. But I want to show you his site here. So go check him out if you've got some time and want to go see other things he's done. All right. So what's new in 2024? Well, let's briefly talk about it. And here's the deal. I think the adventure watches are you're gonna start to see a lot more things come out with these, and there already are a lot of things happening. But, I just watch out for that. I think there's gonna be more syncing with your say for Garmin, you're gonna see more syncing, things you can do with the Garmin device, satellite communicator, and with your phone. There's already a lot you could do. And if you've seen any of my videos in the past, a lot of times I'm creating a brand new course on my Mini 2 or my 67i, and it shows up when I create the course, it shows up and it says, "Do you want to sync to your watch?" Or I can sync to both, maybe the Mini 2 and the watch. So, again, just watch out for what may be happening with the adventure watches in 2024. Another thing is, and this is something I'm not concerned about, but how are the smartphones going to do, and are they going to replace a big market for the inReach? I'm not inReach, but satellite communicators. And I think they will. I think over the next 2, 3 years, you're going to see a lot more from smartphones. And in fact, I was looking at the inReach, no, not the inReach, the iPhone and the iPhone 15, and they're already saying right here. In fact, I grabbed a screenshot of this just today before it went live, and they're talking about you have the ability to now message to, at least to some degree, you can message with a satellite system. And that wasn't the case 6 months or so ago. So they're definitely making improvements right now. So keep an eye out for that. I think you're going to see more phones coming out with the ability to use satellite technology. And let's see. So other things are, Motorola. Of course, I was talking about the Motorola Defy satellite link, but I wouldn't be surprised one bit, besides other manufacturers, you're going to maybe see Motorola come out with a phone that has the ability to, again, communicate through the satellite system to some degree and SOS. You can already sync these devices, but I would watch out for that. Keep an eye out for Motorola coming out with something new. Now, ACR Baby Stick. I was talking with somebody recently in the past year, 3, 4 months, and I was told emphatically that the ACR is coming out with a new bivy stick. Now, it may not be called a bivy stick, it may have a completely different look. I'm actually hoping that they actually have a look or functions that's similar to like the ACR ResQ Link, and they've got a few of them that are beacons and are used for maritime sailing, boating. And I would like to see, more of features that are built into the ACR bivy stick, so that, I mean, it is kind of a dumb device right now. There's several of them like this. That if you don't sync with your satellite phone, with your smartphone, then like the ACR bivy stick, you can SOS and you can hit the tracking button. So there are a few things you can do, but you can't two-way message. So I'm hoping that what ACR comes out with is going to be a little bit more robust and have some things you can do on the device itself. And besides, what you can do with when you're synced with your phone. Now on the Garmin, I haven't talked to anybody from Garmin about this, but the Montana series are a little bit older. I mean, they're not real old, but I was talking to Chris about this week, and we both think that the Montana series is in line for an upgrade. I mean, we've seen an upgrade on the from the Mini to Mini 2, I think it was last year in 2022. We've seen the 67i get upgraded this year. We've seen them come out with the Garmin Messenger. I haven't seen anything new with Spot, so Spot may be also in the picture for them coming out with something, an upgrade. I would really like to see Spot come out with a little bit more as far as maybe some navigation and on screen. So, but anyway, both Chris and I think that we could see some information or an upgrade coming out with the 700i and the 750i. So that's kind of what we think is coming up for 2024. And, now it's time for some questions, actually. And I'm going to do my best to answer all of them. And so, anyway, let's see. Well, there's one here. The first one, I've got a thumbs up from Ian. So thanks, Ian. And then, see, from, I can't pronounce it here. Well, let me do my best. Philos and Sophos. But anyway, by the way, I'm kind of curious where you're from. Are you from the US or elsewhere in the world? I'm kind of just wondering about the name. But anyway, the question is, what impact should technologies like Starlink direct to cell phone have on the handheld satellite device market in terms of new features in the coming years? This is actually where I need to stop and breathe a little bit and slow down. I want to make sure I understand this question because I've been wondering about this myself. So, the impact from could technologies like Starlink, I'm sorry I'm reading this again, but I want to make sure I understand it. From Starlink's direct to cell have on the handheld satellite device market. So, Chris and I were talking about this week, and we absolutely believe it's going to impact the satellite communicators. The bottom line is for those who are serious adventurers and you have, I know you guys probably don't want to see my faces much, so probably should keep it smaller. But anyway, for those who are serious outdoor adventurers, those satellite communicators, I've got them all sitting right here, but you've got the Mini 2 here and the ACR Bivy stick. I mean, all of them. They have a rating, a military spec rating that for dust, for drops, for waterproof, for water resistant. And so if you're, and I always use this analogy, but it may not be completely true because I don't know how these devices would work up on top of Mount Everest. I personally probably don't think they use them up there. But if you're serious and you're out doing something like that, you're going to want to have a satellite communicator. You don't want to have your phone. It's just not going to do as well. At least as of today, it's not going to do as well when you're in a serious outdoor adventure. I mean, you might be floating a river, you might be hunting and getting dirty in the rain and all that. So you really want to have that satellite communicator, not just the technology, but the ruggedness of it. So, I mean, I can't answer this question exactly, specifically. All I know is my guess would be they may take over 90% of the market from Garmin and ACR. But, again, I was talking with Chris, and we're pretty sure that they're looking at this and figuring out how they're going to respond to these changes in technology. So, it's a good question, and I don't know, but I think over the next 2, 3 years, there's gonna be some major changes. So, as I find out more about this, I'll definitely be bringing that here on Hiking Emergency Beacon. And hey, Gregory, hello from Wisconsin. I almost said it in a different accent, but yeah, happy New Year to you also. So there's no other comments right now, and I could do a little song if you want and sing for you, but I'm not going to. But I'm actually gonna cough instead. But anyway, there's no other comments. But if you guys have any comments at all, or you think of something later, leave the comments, on Hiking Emergency Beacon on the YouTube channel and on the website, hikingemergencybeacon.com, because if you got comments or questions, I really do my best to answer all of those in, 12 hours or less. So what's next? Well, I'm going to be doing a giveaway next week, and I'm not going to tell you what satellite communicator I'm going to give away, but I'm going to give it away at the end of January. So there's going to be 3 to 4 weeks of coming out talking about this, and probably even bringing additional information. But keep an eye out for that. So I'll probably be doing multiple giveaways throughout the year, but the first one here is going to start in January, and I'll give it away at the end of the month of January 2024. So happy New Year, everybody. It's not a real long video, and I know everybody's probably going, great. We want to get back to our New Year's Eve festivities. But really do appreciate you guys hanging out with me. And again, if you guys have any comments at all, questions, and if you want to know what satellite communicator is best for you, I really will do my very best to show you or lead you by asking questions first about what is important for you and not just what I like. So that's it. Thanks a lot for joining me here on Hiking Emergency Beacon. And I will see you guys back in the next video. Thanks again for joining me. Again, have a happy, safe New Year's Eve and a 2024 Happy New Year. Thanks.